to the mind and how the person, especially if it was a failed abortion, you know?
Oh, what do you mean? How do you get a failed abortion?
Well, I mean,
This was written in 1950, so like they used to try to cut it in the womb, kill it.
back in that time.
Back in that time.
Yeah.
Well, that's how they do it now. I mean, they do.
They kill it and they suck it
They
up.
suction them out now.
But like there's been like failed home abortions, things like that.
So that means that the baby survives.
Yes.
Yeah, and
that's a bad thing.
I mean, it's not bad that the child survives, but that it creates a lot of negative effects. If you try to kill a child while it's in the womb and it survives, it can create a lot of problems for the child. Like, it's just not good to even attempt it in the first place.
Right.
Like, you shouldn't even try it. You know, so people who do try it and fail, it creates a lot of problems for the baby, mentally and physically. It can physically, but
which is why I advocate for criminalizing it.
Yeah.
Then it'll restrain people from doing it.
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, this is an entire chapter. So this chapter is on prenatal experience and birth, right? So this entire chapter is about. It goes from obviously when the child's conceived all throughout the entire thing of the child's life.
Given this information, would men and women come to the conclusion that they should never even do it? They should never even attempt to do it?
What I would personally say is, like, everybody has their own opinions. Everybody's going to do what they're going to do.
So your recommendation would be for them to look at this book to look for
answers,
health benefits, right? Looking at that question, should I get an abortion or not? What would they conclude if they read this book?
I mean, this particular chapter, I would say that they would not even try to attempt at the end of it. Personally, that's what I would say, because even if you look here, like this one sentence says, the child on whom the abortion is attempted is condemned to live with murderers, who he reactively knows to be murderers through all his weak and helpless youth. He forms unreasonable attachments to grandparents. He's terrified reactions to all punishment, grows ill easily, and suffers long. And there is no such thing as a guaranteed way to abort a child, using contraptions, not a knitting needle or the douchebag to hold down populations. So it's literally going over, like, don't even try. Like, if you don't want to have a child, then don't have a child. You know what I mean? Use conception. Don't then go and try to kill it.
Right. And so then it should also be that in the event that birth control fails, that you accept that you're going to raise a child, or that you can even give your baby up for adoption.
Yeah, exactly.
But that you don't attempt, because that's a little baby, another fellow human being.
Yeah. Here's what I think, if you want my personal opinion and like how I actually feel about it, aside from what I know or believe. Like, my personal opinion is, if you have a child, keep it or give it up for adoption. Don't try to kill it. I think that that's wrong in my opinion, and I don't think that it's okay. Now, I can't advocate for the rest of the world, which is why I'm saying, like, they're going to do what they're going to do, unfortunately. Not that it's a positive thing, not that they have the right to take another life, because they don't. They wouldn't then go, I mean, why would you kill a child that's inside of you if you wouldn't go and kill your neighbor, or you wouldn't go kill that person? It is a human being. So then the question that abolitionists have now are, should we criminalize it? Should it be criminalized as murder? Should it be treated as murder and criminalized? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it even says here, if a person knows he has committed this crime against a child who has been born, he should do all possible to have the child cleared, as in, like, using the technique, as soon as possible. I mean, he even says, like, it's a crime. You know what I mean? Obviously, back then it was a legitimate crime, but even then the viewpoint is the viewpoint, like, that's what it is. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, see, that's interesting that he acknowledges it is a crime, but today the majority public opinion would not agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, even the last sentence here in this particular paragraph says, anyone attempting an abortion is committing an act against the whole society and the future. Any judge or doctor recommending an abortion should be instantly deprived of position and practice, whatever his reason. I mean, that's what it says.
Very, very
if it says it, then I personally believe it, because it is what it is. So, yeah, I mean, that's the viewpoint. Yeah. Anyway, Dianetics.
It goes into, like, a lot of details, like why
it
harms
is
individual and things like that.
Like what it actually does, not only to the body but to the mind as well.
Right. So then that should actually lead people to be proactive to criminalize it.
Sure.
Which is what I do. The statistics are that 1 in 4 women so far have had at least one abortion.
Oh wow.
1 in 4. So that means every 4 women that you look at, one of them has intentionally taken the life of their baby. So we're dealing with a lot. That's why we got a lot of mental illness and people, a lot of emotional distress, because they keep doing it. These things that he's talking about with regard to abortion in particular is the reason that it's so debilitating emotionally, is psychologically, is because it is blood guilt. You are dealing with murder.
Yeah.
And and for a Christian, we say and we know that the only remedy for that is Christ, because he's the only one that can forgive you of murder.
Sure.
At the end of the day, it's knowing that you have a Savior that took that penalty for the murder that you did, or for because all of us have sinned. We can't face a holy God until we've been covered with the blood of Christ. And so that's the message, that true Christianity, there's a lot of other weird diversions of that, but basically in a nutshell, that's what the gospel is.
Yeah.
Is telling people they can be forgiven, because that is our greatest need.
Yeah.
When Adam sinned against God, it was his soul that died, his soul that was separated. And the only way that he could be reconciled was through a Redeemer, somebody whose blood was shed for the full payment of that sin. And that is what reconciles us to our Creator. So we know we can live in full in our life now, knowing that when we die here, we will be in the presence of God fully. The hope is to have Christ. That's the hope.
Yeah.
Would you want to hear or read about it? These are efforts that we're doing, the abolitionists are doing in Florida, to appeal to our legislators to actually present a bill of abolition that will criminalize abortion in Florida. And it explains everything about how it affects, Roe v. Wade and all that stuff. And so it's good. This is how we can protect our society, is if we criminalize it. It'll be a good thing, because then women will be encouraged. First of all, people will take more sexual responsibility, number one. And then when women are faced with an unplanned pregnancy, they should have a natural support by the community, between their family and their community. We should all come alongside every woman who finds herself with child to help her raise that child.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to promote. We need to love all our babies.
For sure.
Thanks.